Interesting sexual health news for you. The topic of pornography addiction is something that has been on Reddit and some other communities just sweeping across the internet over the last few years as research is being done and we're starting to understand the long-term effects of certain types of pornography use on the human brain. It's not something that a lot of researchers have worked on in universities, but it's starting to happen. So at Cambridge, they did a brain study of 19 addicted to porn guys versus a control group who said that they were not compulsive users of pornography. And they did some sort of brain imaging study. And I think we have a picture actually that we can bring up. So what you're seeing there is a spectromagnoscope showing parts of the brain lighting up. And you know what? I'll just allow the scientist to explain it. So Dr. Valerie Voon, she's a neuropsychiatrist, she said, "We found greater activity in an area of the brain called the ventral striatum," which I believe Cara Santamaria corrected my pronunciation on the last time she was on, which is a reward center involved in processing reward, motivation, and pleasure. When an alcoholic sees an ad for a drink, their brain will light up in a certain way and they will be stimulated in a certain way. We are seeing the same kind of activity in terms of pornography use.
Yeah, that doesn't,
dun, dun, dun.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
But a lot of people say that it doesn't exist.
That pornography addiction doesn't exist?
That like you like using porn a lot, but you're not addicted in the same way that someone can be addicted to alcohol or drugs or gambling or something like that.
Right, they'll make the same argument about food, but it does light up the same reward center of the brain as you or that doctor eloquently put in that statement. So I totally believe that porn addiction exists. I mean, people are recovering in rehab as a result of it right now as we speak. The question is, what are people or what are pharmaceutical companies going to try to do to profit off of this? Because that's where I get a little skeptical. I do think that it's a problem, but how we deal with that problem is a whole nother issue.
Yeah, so to put this in context, this research was released. It's from obviously the UK, and they have this 3-day conference going on about the potential dangers of pornography and how they should deal with it. So they're obviously trying to get out ahead of that, and they're talking about the toxic environment that porn creates. And I'm certainly not saying that. That's not the point of talking about this, but it is interesting. And I do think, like, you seem to be ahead of the curve, and certainly I've been to the sites on Reddit and things like that. But I do think a lot of people think it's just something you do, like just get off people's back. It's perfectly fine. And I think in a lot of cases it can be, just like alcohol can be fine and gambling can be fine in a lot of cases, but it can cause actual damage.
And it really depends on what kind of addiction you're predisposed to. Because if you don't have that kind of predisposition, then it might not serve as a problem for you. But another problem with pornography that I don't think people talk about enough is how it desensitizes you to certain things. So you might start off watching something that's relatively softcore, and then all of a sudden that doesn't really do it for you, and you're watching stuff that is more and more intense.
Like what?
Hardcore porn, whatever it is.
Tentacles.
Tentacles, I mean hentai, I
German
think it's called.
Stuff.
And so that happens because you just kind of get used to a particular type, and then all of a sudden you want something that's hardcore and
You want something that's hardcore. I think she was thinking about a particular video when she said that. Oh, God, I miss Pablo. But anyway, yeah. And look, for most people, just like I said, with drinking, it's not going to cause any damage to you. But if you begin to rely on it, understand that we're not just talking about sort of a behavioral change. We're talking about a structural change in terms of how your brain responds to stimuli. The neurochemicals that it releases start to change over time. The amount and like you said, what is required to cause them to be released. And so I love that they're researching this. I think that long-term, people really need to learn about this stuff. And for you watching this video, if you think that you might be addicted to pornography, go to
nailed it.
If you search it on Reddit, you'll search porn addiction and you'll find it. I think there's a website, Your Brain Rebalanced or something like that. That's about porn addiction. You can search it. And look, as a warning sign, if you found yourself pausing this video to go check out porn in the middle, you might have a problem.